Hey guys, welcome to Realistic Crypto. I'm Mark, and in this video I'm going to show you the tools, the method and techniques that I use to create consistently profitable bots every single month. And what's more, I'm also going to show you how you can use all of these tools for free. So the first thing that you're going to need is a TradingView account. You can sign up for the basic plan, it's free, and that will do what you need it to do for the purposes of backtesting these strategies. The added benefit of upgrading to the Pro or the premium packages are that you can backtest more historical data. Now that's really useful if you want to take the backtesting settings that you've got and test it throughout a longer period of time. Typically, if you're talking on the lower time frames, the 3 minutes and the 5 minutes, then that having a one of the Pro or the premium accounts does just give you access to more data to give you an added level of confidence that that it's profitable over time. So once you've signed up for TradingView, you will see something that looks a little bit like this. Now, if you head into products, you go to Chart Plus. This will take you into the chart. Now, what you want to do is you want to click on the Indicators tab. You want to add Zendog V3 backtest DCA bot 3Commas. And then you also want to add the RSI. So if you click on the RSI there. Now what I'm going to do at the minute is I'm going to minimize that panel. I'm going to change the RSI from RSI length 14 to 7. And there's a reason for that, and I'll show you that a little bit later. Now, once we've got that, we've got the backtesting panel here on the right hand side. We've got the RSI down here as well. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to flip back to my other TradingView account and put those settings up on screen right now. There's no difference other than I've already tweaked the Zendog V3 DCA strategy to some of the settings that I use. Now, what you will see is you'll see that on the 1 hour, this is not necessarily profitable. But if we get down onto the 3 minutes and the 5 minutes, then this is currently making around 0.33% per day. Now, just to go through the settings on this indicator, and then there's a couple of important points after that. When we go down this list, so the deal start type, we change the configuration of the RSI from 14 to 7, and that's on the basis that the RSI 7 is the deal start type, and this is what this is where the backtester will start to open base orders. Now, having the RSI reflect that value as well also just means that you can get a visual representation when a trade is opened that the RSI is 26 and the deal start condition is if it's equal to or lower than 29. So that just gives you the visual representation of where the base orders have opened. So running through, you can change this. So you can change this to an external indicator. When you choose an external indicator, you can choose any indicator that you've got that's already on the chart. So if you change your RSI to length 14, then you could effectively have a deal start condition of 20 If it's equal to or less than 20, then that's when the deal starts would take place. Now you could also come in and change that to 14. Go back into this setting here, switch it out, set it back, and now you're effectively back testing against RSI length 14. Now we'll put that back to the defaults. I'll change it back to RSI 7. So now that you've got your free TradingView account, you're now going to need an exchange to trade on. Now you can use any exchange. You can use KuCoin, Binance, ORCX, FTX, etc. But to make this truly free, then you have to have an account in FTX, and we'll come to the reason for that shortly. I've left a link to FTX in the description below. And I've also left a link to FTX US, because there's two versions of FTX. So if you are in the US, there's a US link in the description below too. Now, once you've created an account in FTX, you then want to go and create an account in 3Commas. Now, I've also left a link to 3Commas in the description below. When you go into 3Commas, what you want to do once you've signed up is go into My Portfolio, connect a new account, choose an exchange, choose FTX, and click Connect FTX. Now what that's going to do is that's going to take you through to FTX. You can sign into FTX there, and it will ask you to authorize the connection between FTX and 3Commas. Once you've authorized that, it'll bring you back to 3Commas, and you'll see FTX in the list of connected exchanges. So the reason that you have to have an FTX account to make this truly free is that 3Commas is a paid platform. You have to pay for this every single month or annually. However, they are offering right now a deal where you can use all of the functionality of 3Commas in FTX for absolutely free. As soon as you want to start to move to using a different exchange, you will need to buy one of the plans. The link in the description below gives you 10% off the plans, I believe. So, you know, there is a little bit of a saving there if you choose to use that link. Now, the one that you'd really be looking for at a minimum is the advanced plan. And the reason for that is that, particularly if you want to create multiple DCA bots, then you'd probably want to go for the advanced plan. Another thing to mention, and this just reminds me here, is that when I set up a bot and when I do some back testing against a specific pair, each back test that I do is unique to that pair and to that exchange. So as an example, whatever settings I find for Flux on KuCoin, I'll build a specific bot with that specific configuration specifically for Flux USDT on KuCoin. I won't use the same settings on other pairs. When I go and build a new bot for another pair, I will start from scratch, find unique settings, find something that's consistently profitable, and then roll that into to another single bot and another single bot and another single bot. I don't use the functionality in 3Commas where you can create what they call a multi-pair bot that allows you to add, you know, hundreds of different pairs into a single bot to start with the same deal conditions, because again, they're not always the same settings are not profitable against every single pair. So again, if you take that same approach, then you won't need the Pro plan. You'd be able to get everything that you need in that advanced plan. So now that we've got everything connected, let's go and take a quick look at how we build a bot. So if we go into DCA bot, if we click create DCA bot, then what you might get is you might get a screen that pops up that asks you whether you want to do the basic, wizard, or advanced setup. If you click advanced and click continue, then it'll take you through to this page. Now, the main settings, they speak for themselves. Name, exchange, so select whichever exchange you want to trade on there. Again, bot type, single, multi-pair. I always go with single, as I've just mentioned. What I'll do is I'll leave links as well to the other exchanges that I use in the description below in case you do want to check them out. One of the things to be aware of is on Binance, there is a minimum order size in USDT of $10. Now, obviously, if you're adding, if you're doubling the value of the safety orders, and you've got 5 safety orders, then that can get relatively capital heavy relatively quickly, given that you're starting at $10 for the base order. I would always say to anybody that is building a bot to start with a really low amount, let the bot run, get some level of comfort with it before you start increasing the size of the orders. Now, KuCoin is great for this, and FTX is great too, because their minimum orders are far less. KuCoin, as an example, the minimum's somewhere around the $1 mark. So it is so much easier to only use small amounts on those other exchanges. So then if we scroll down, you get to choose your strategy type. Now, if you remember, when we looked at the DCA backtester, we had the option here of long or short, and that's just reflected here. Profit currency, you can choose to either take profit in, let's just switch very quickly to a USDT pair. You can either take profit in the original currency used, so in this case USDT, or you can take profit in the base pair, which is Ethereum. So what this means is every time that a deal gets closed, your profits will be reflected in one of these two. Now, if you are using a long bot and you are trying to compound those gains, then you want to have that set as quote, because you can also use a base order size of a percentage amount. And that means that every time a deal closes and you add some more capital into your account, then it will automatically take that into account when it places the next base order and opens the next deal. So, there's a couple of considerations in here. Market and limit orders. So exchanges typically have differing fees. Limit orders are typically cheaper on the fee side. So, I typically focus there on limit orders. Deal start condition. So here's where you can set RSI, and it's the RSI. It's the length of 7, which we set in the RSI over here, which is also the RSI 7 here as well, and it's these values. So if I look at this, it's the RSI 7 on the 3-minute charts is less than 30. That is effectively those settings there. Now, scrolling down, as I mentioned before, you've got a take profit. The one thing that the backtester doesn't have is the ability for trailing take profit. That's where 1% it'll activate the trailing. In this case, the 0.2 will say if it drops 0.2%, then we'll take profit at 0.8%. If it goes up to 2% and then pulls back 0.2, we'll take profit at 1.8%. I don't use trailing. I hit the percentage and I take the profit. Stop loss, again, turn this on, turn this off, completely up to you. Not something I use in my bots. Safety orders, so this is where we come down to the safety order size. If we flick back to the back tester, again, in this instance, I've doubled the safety order size. You know, if I drop that down, it becomes more profitable. So, you know, those are definitely settings that you've got to play with for each pair to work out which ones are right. Price deviation to open from the initial order. This is where it'll start to open safety orders. Now, you can choose how many of those safety orders you want to place, and again, the volume scale and the step scale. So right now, there's a useful chart in here, and this shows you at step 1, you'd have used $20 because it'd have added 10. Step 2, you'd have used $30 because it's added 10. But if we double that as an example, we start seeing that curve. And the reason for that is that we've started the base order at 10. Safety order 1, we've added 20 and therefore pulled down the average bought price. Step 2 has doubled it again to 40, doubled it to 80, doubled it to 160, and doubled it to 320. And the idea of that is that it averages out your entry price, so that when the price pulls back, then effectively you're closer to where that take profit is going to be. Again, safety order scale, you can change this. What this does is changes the distance between the safety orders. It's almost another multiplier that says if it's at 1, then every 1% in this case there will be a safety order. If you reduce it, then those safety orders will get closer together. If you increase it, those safety orders will become further apart. And then we've got some advanced settings in here. Some of these are really useful, particularly if you're dealing with very low volume pairs. You can set, and this is in BTC, but you could say, you know what, if there's not more than 20 Bitcoin worth of trading volume on that pair, then don't even open a trade. I don't use it. The last thing we talked about this in the back tester. This is the plan B, or the number of hours after which the deal will be closed automatically. Again, you know, I always set this. It removes any kind of emotion, and it also acts as as another way of implementing a stop loss. Now, the only other thing to mention is, from a KuCoin perspective, is in here, we don't have the RSI 7 deal start condition. Now, the only way that you can get those deal start conditions to work is by using custom signals from TradingView. Now, what that means is that you have to then set an alert. As you can see, I've got an alert set on 76, so that's a short alert, and then I've got one set at 35, which is a long alert. Now, these alerts in effect will trigger the webhook, which will send the command, which will then open the trade. Now, there is a lot of information on that. 3Commas have their own guides to this as well, so check that out. I'm not planning to do a video on that. I think all of the information's out there, the help's there. But by all means, reach out if you've got any questions. So to recap, we now have a free TradingView account, which allows us to backtest a pair based on certain settings. We also have an exchange to trade on. So if you wanted to use these tools for free, FTX and 3Commas, you get 3Commas for free when you connect it to FTX. So now it's a case of finding a pair, backtesting the settings, working out what works for you, taking those settings, coming into 3Commas, making the changes setting the settings in 3Commas, leave it to run, use small amounts to start with, and then as time progresses and you grow more confident and you see in the progress in the bot, slowly start increasing the amount that you use. And that's the method, that's the tools, that's the techniques that I use to build consistently profitable bots every single month. Now, that's pretty much everything for this video. I do want to just quickly mention that, you know, we've got a lot more content coming up. We're going to be looking at plug and play miners. We've got a number of those already, but we've had a new one arrive. So there'll be a review and an unboxing of that. We're also going to have more DCA bot content. One of the things that I am aiming to do is to find good settings for DCA bots for pairs on TradingView, and putting content out on YouTube every few days with some of the settings that I found that are profitable. If you have a pair that you would like me to backtest, then leave a comment in the comments box below. Let me know what pair you'd like me to backtest and what exchange you want me to test that on, and I'll look to add any of those into the future content. So that's it for this video. If you did enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. Until next time, thank you and bye.